We all know how important engagement is when it comes to building your brand or business on Instagram's platform. Instagram's algorithm loves seeing your followers and your audience engaging and interacting with the content that you're sharing. If they can see that people are staying on their app longer because they're actually consuming your content and binging it, then they are going to love this. They're going to boost you and show your content to more people. And this allows your account to grow, but more importantly, it allows you to nurture your audience so that you can then turn those followers into paying clients. Today, we're going to talk all about how you can actually effectively boost your engagement for your Instagram account with your brand or business. And this isn't going to be the typical easy peasy hacks that you can use to boost your engagement. I'm going to give you real solid strategy behind 5 separate ways that you can actually utilize in your daily strategy with your content marketing to boost your engagement. Let's get into it. If you're new here, my name is Laney. I'm a social media expert and online business coach, and I help women build their brands online with social media, utilizing really stellar content that's able to nurture their audience, build authority in their niche, and eventually turn those followers into paying clients. Today's video is going to get straight to the point, zero fluff like I like to do, where we're going to talk about my top 5 strategies for being able to boost engagement on your Instagram account in 2022. By the way, if you want to learn more about all of Instagram's features, because let's be honest, there are a ton. If you're somebody who struggles with understanding how to have a content marketing strategy on each of their features, be sure to download my Instagram feature guide, which allows you to understand more about why each feature is important and how you can strategize your marketing efforts on Instagram's platform. Now, the first tip that I have for being able to boost your engagement on Instagram in 2022 is a really simple hack, but there's a little bit of detail that I really want to give to you that a lot of people and experts and coaches, I feel like, don't really go in depth on. And I think it's really important for you to understand a certain part of this. The simplest tip that I have for you to be able to boost your engagement is to utilize Instagram Stories engagement stickers. These engagement stickers are there for a reason. Instagram loves it when you actually utilize the features that they have put out. The more features that you use, the more the algorithm is going to recognize that, and they're going to be like, heck yeah, let's boost her right on up. And they're going to push your content out to as many people as they can because of the fact that you're actually spending time on their app using the features that they took a lot of time to create. So Instagram Stories is a really great way to allow your audience to get to know your brand behind the scenes. It's not enough to just post your products or your services that you sell. People want to be able to build trust in not only what your product or service is, but they want to build trust in the person behind the brand. It's so critical for you to humanize every part of your business. The easiest way to do that, in my opinion, is through Instagram Stories. I love utilizing Instagram Stories just to show a little bit of the quirky side of me, let my weirdness hang out a little bit, but also to show relatability, that my life is no different than anybody else's. I'm a single mom, I've got 2 kids. They drive me crazy. I run around like a chicken with my head cut off, and that's just what it is. But they love to see this type of content because it feels like they really get to know me. But what I also love about Instagram Stories is that it's an easy way for you to be able to boost engagement. Instagram Story engagement stickers are an excellent way to be able to do this, and they're super simple to use. I use them almost daily in my business on Instagram, and honestly, it really does help to not just boost your engagement with Instagram, but also to get a lot of feedback and market research from your audience, which in turn helps you to build your product or service. There are a number of different types of engagement stickers on Instagram Stories, but I'm gonna highlight today 3 engagement story stickers that I like to use and why you should start to use them as well. Before I jump into that though, let me give you a little pro tip. Instagram Stories are really fun, and let's be honest, humans in general are just selfish and we like to talk about ourselves. And so it's really easy to get on stories and just showcase every single thing that's going on in your business every single day. But one thing you want to make sure of is that you're not on Instagram Stories too much. And yes, there is a too much in this scenario. You want to make sure that you're only sharing about 5 to 10 stories a day. So what that means is every time you do a story, they show up in little 15-second dashes. You only want to have 5 to 10 of those dashes a day. If you start to have more and those dashes turn into dots, then you're probably talking a little bit too much and you're going to start losing your audience in the time that they're actually watching your stories. And that's the last thing that you want. You want them to watch from beginning to end everything that you're sharing on your Instagram story. But we're all guilty of sometimes getting on a soapbox and maybe talking a little bit too long and our dashes have turned into dots. If that does happen, then my biggest suggestion to you is to let your stories expire completely. So stories only show up for 24 hours, of course, and once you have gone through a day and maybe you have a ton of little dots instead of 5 to 10 dashes, you want your stories to expire completely. So wait a full 24 hours before you post a new story. You want it to show up that you have no story before you start a new one. This is going to help Instagram by pushing out your content because they're showing that you took a little break, but you're coming right back on. I wouldn't suggest going an entire day without posting an Instagram story, but definitely making sure that your stories expire completely before you start a new set of stories. Now, let's talk about my top 3 favorite Instagram story engagement stickers. The first one and the easiest to use is the Emoji slider sticker. I love this one because it's super simple, and I typically like to make sure that I use this in my very first story of every day. This is a really big strategic tip. If you're starting a new story for the day, you want to use 1 or 2 of these engagement stickers within the first 1 to 2 stories that you post in the day, because that's when you're going to be getting the most views. Not everyone is going to go through every single one of your stories. They may completely exit out of Instagram stories, or they may even swipe past you to go to the next person, which is okay. But if you are able to have an engagement sticker on that very first story of the day, then you're more likely to see response and engagement from your audience. And don't worry, I'll be sure to show you right here on my screen exactly how you get to each of these engagement stickers so you can get started today. The emoji slider button allows you as the creator to ask your audience a question in which they can rate based on the emoji that they slide. This is a great example of one that I used where I asked my audience how confident they feel on camera. They were able to take their finger and slide the emoji all the way to the right if they felt like they were super confident, or maybe just leave it more on the left-hand side if they weren't as confident as they like to be. This is really important for a number of things. Number 1, your audience likes to participate in your stories. They feel like a part of your brand when you interact with them in this way, but also it helps to give you a lot of insight into things that your audience or followers are struggling with that maybe you can help them out with. What I also love about the emoji slider sticker is that you can actually change the emoji that you're using. I really like to spice things up and sometimes use the dancing girl. Sometimes I like to use the 100 emoji just to say, like, for sure, this is exactly how I feel, or I agree with you, or I don't agree with you. So there's lots of different ways that you can customize this emoji slider sticker. Another really fun sticker to use is the poll sticker, which is a lot like the emoji slider sticker. It gives you the opportunity as the creator to learn more about your audience and to get to know what they like, what they don't like, what their needs and desires are, what they're struggling with. It gives you so much market research, and it's such a great way to get to know your audience more. Now, Instagram recently changed up the look of their poll engagement sticker, but I don't know if I like it more or less than what it used to look like, but this is what it is these days. So with this engagement sticker, what I like about it is that you can make it more related to what your niche is and what your followers are likely they're following in regards to your brand, product, service. But then you could also really make it relatable, and you could utilize it to let your audience know you more and you to know them more on a personal level. What are their interests? What are their preferences, their struggles? It's a daily kind of thing that you can utilize just to get to know your audience better on a more personal level, and it doesn't feel so stiff and businessy all the time. I really like to use this, especially if I'm talking about Chick-fil-A. I ask people what they order from Chick-fil-A, if they prefer the chicken sandwich over the cool wrap. I mean, that's just one example, but like, who doesn't like talking about Chick-fil-A, you know? And the third engagement sticker on Instagram stories that I like to utilize is the question box. This one is a little bit more in depth and does require more from your audience, but what it really does is go more in depth with that market research and getting insight from your followers. With this option, you're able to ask a question and then your audience is able to type out what their actual answer is in short form. So it doesn't allow them to type out too much, which is great, especially if you're somebody who gets a ton of DMs and responses, but it does allow them to give more insight into what it is that you're asking instead of you just giving them the option and them not being able to elaborate more. So this is really, really, really helpful, especially if you're doing any type of market research for maybe a new product that you're creating, or if you have a new service that you are getting ready to put out, like a course or a membership. This is going to be super vital for you to get more information from your following. The second tip that I have for you in order to boost engagement on Instagram in 2022 is something that's not talked about or done enough. This is going to help to set you above the standard for what other companies, brands, businesses are doing on Instagram. And that's to investigate the people who are following you. Every single day that you get a new follower, you should be taking the time to go and research their account. See what kind of person they are. Do they fit into your target market? Is it somebody that you feel your product or service can help? This is going to be super important. If it is somebody who is your target audience, then follow them back. Too often, there are too many brands and businesses who are afraid of their following count to be higher than their follower count. So if you're somebody who is only concerned about having your follower count be really high, then your mindset is not where it needs to be. You should be taking an active stance on following the people who do fit into your target market. This helps not only to boost your engagement, which I'm going to explain how in just a second, but it also really helps your brand to get more insight into your target audience, to understand what their daily life looks like, how your product or service can help to support them in whatever way you're aiming to do so. As a brand and a business, it gives you so much insight to be able to take a look at what your followers' lives are really like. It's nothing but beneficial for you to be able to investigate what kind of struggles and problems you're seeing with your target audience that you can help to give them small wins on. This is all content marketing is you finding out what those struggles are and then giving your audience those small wins to help build like, know, and trust with you. If you're not already taking the opportunity to investigate the people who are following you, then today is the day to start doing so. Now, following isn't enough. In order for you to really start to boost engagement on Instagram with those people who are following you, but also you want to make sure that you're actually engaging with their content. This is another huge mistake that content creators make when it comes to marketing their brand or business on Instagram, is that they're only concerned about the content that they're creating and not concerned about the content that their followers are sharing with them. Go ahead and take a look at their photos, like photos, comment on them, send them a DM if you want to. Don't be salesy, but also you could just send them a message saying, hey, thanks so much for the follow. I like this, and this about what you're sharing on Instagram. I'm happy to have you join along and for me to follow along on your journey as well. This is a great way for those followers to see that, number one, you're sincere, right? You want to build trust with your audience, and they're going to feel a lot more trusting towards you if you're able to show them that you actually care about what it is that they're sharing and what's going on in their lives. Be genuine about everything that you interact with in regards to the content that your followers are sharing, but also it doesn't mean that you have to follow every single person who follows you. I would really make sure to investigate their profile first to make sure that they're actually the right fit for your ideal client. If they are, then yes, absolutely start to engage with their content, and you'll find that they'll start to engage with you more as well. And because you've engaged with them so much, Instagram's more likely to post your content in their feed, and that allows you to help to build that relationship with them and to create more of a connection. The third tip I have for you in order to boost engagement on Instagram in 2022 is to provide value, but also don't forget to entertain. It's so important right now in this day and age to utilize video content, number one, but also video content that entertains an audience. You don't always have to provide value and tutorials in your Instagram content. It's a good thing to sometimes highlight funny things within your niche. Like this reel right here, where I brought to light Instagram's algorithm sometimes pushing my content out to the wrong people. And sometimes I get really crazy DMs from creepy old men who ask me to be their sugar baby. Is it ridiculous and necessarily like part of what my marketing plan is? No, but yes, it is at the same time, because I just want to provide valuable, relatable content that people are going to enjoy. And just as I expected, I had so many people commenting on this reel saying that the same thing happens to them. So no, it's not exactly valuable, but what it is entertaining, and it captures the attention of the audience that I want. So next time that you're going to create a reel or maybe an Instagram feed post and you're thinking about using a meme or something, just do your best to find some sort of entertaining, relatable content that you can share that's going to entice your followers to engage more. The fourth tip that I have for you for increasing your engagement on Instagram in 2022 is to make sure that after every piece of content that you share, you have a call to action. Now, you may have heard people say this before, but I can't emphasize enough how important this is. Most of the time, people don't realize that a lot of your followers don't know what to do next, but if you give them a command of what steps they need to take next, then they're more likely to actually do that. There are tons of different calls to actions that you can utilize, such as follow for more, double tap this post if you can relate, share this post if blah, 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 whatever you want to relate it to in your niche. Save this post for the next time that you feel, insert emotion of what your target audience may be feeling in regards to this subject. If you are able to give them the actual command, the steps that they need to take, then they're more likely to actually complete those, and that helps you to boost engagement as well. And the final tip that I have for you on how to boost engagement on Instagram in 2022 is to network. That's right. That means you may be stepping out of your comfort zone and to stop looking at your competitors like your competitors. Instead, try thinking of them as colleagues. The easiest way to do this is to just start interacting with their content and even sending them DMs and telling them what you appreciate about the content that they're sharing within your niche. It doesn't even have to be someone who's directly inside of your niche, but kind of semi-related if you want to look at it like that. There are other ways to network outside of your specific niche, but utilizing other people that are maybe kind of connected in a way. For instance, for me, being a social media expert, I could always, network with other Instagram coaches or social media strategists or social media marketers. That's another one. But I could take it another route and maybe get connected with video editors, right? Like people who are really good at editing video content. That would be a great place to start networking because it's kind of related to what I do inside of my niche. The reason why this is so important for boosting your engagement on Instagram is because when you start to build relationships with people inside of your niche, it allows you so much more opportunity to get exposed to their audience. Now, your goal shouldn't be only to just get in front of their audience, but really it should be to build those relationships because it gives you so many opportunities for your brand or your business. There's nothing but benefits when it comes to networking, and I know that I have benefited tremendously when it comes to my Instagram growth because of the people that I've been able to network with. I've been able to connect with people like Hey Danny J and other people inside of the online teaching realm when I was doing coaching services for online teachers. My ability to network with them allowed me to actually work with them in multiple ways. And because I was able to work with them, then those people were able to talk about me in front of their audience. And it allowed me to gain more followers because they were able to learn more about me when maybe they didn't know about me beforehand. So definitely stop looking at other people within your niche as competitors and start looking at them as ways for you to build your audience, but also to expand your opportunities within your brand or business. So there you have it, 5 effective tips and tools to help you learn how to boost engagement on Instagram in 2022. P.S. If you want to learn more about how to utilize TikTok for marketing your brand or business, then I highly encourage you to sign up to join the waitlist for my new mini course called TikTok for Beginners. This is for people who have zero understanding of how to even create an account or get started creating content on TikTok, where I'm going to walk you through step by step how to utilize TikTok, get started with it, and use every single one of its features to your advantage. You can find the link for that down below in the description box, as well as that Instagram feature guide. Until next time, make sure that you check out these 2 videos, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.